So the G.55S is a Tier 4 Italian premium that you can go get in the shop. Usually they have it on sale for $20, $25, and then it gets knocked down to 15 or 10, depending on if there's like a holiday sale or a special for, like, let's say the Italian tech tree. Let's see. Now the thing is with this aircraft, it's Tier 4, so it basically gets you the bonuses of researching from Tier 1, Tier 3, 4, and I believe it also does Tier 5. So it can get you all the way up here with these jets, and then from here on out, you're basically going to need premium time to get these jets, or even better, you can go and buy this, which, like I said, I wouldn't spend more money on this game unless you need to. If you're totally free to play at this point, you can, like I said, I just talisman this jet, the G91 pre-series, which got me all the way down here, and it can do the same thing. The only thing you're missing out on is premium credits or silver lions, but there's other ways you can go grind those out. Yeah, you can even use this plane if you wanted to. So you obviously clicked this video because you had expressed interest in the G.55S. Well, basically the G.55S, or I'm basically going to say this Italian Tier 4 Premium, boasts a very good turn fighting capability. That's probably the most unique thing, and you probably, if you played any of the C205, I'm going to butcher these, but basically the Italian turn fighters, I played them. This one, Tier 4 to Tier 3, the Tier 3 is basically, they're good at fighting at low altitude. Basically you just fly low altitude to the fight, and you start doing turn fights on everyone, baiting people low, and you're kicking their butt. Now, the one thing is the repair cost is 8,990 silver lions. So that's very high. Let's compare that to, let's say, the P25. Yeah, so the P51 is 3,500, alright? So you go look at this plane, you're like, wow, 8,990 silver lions. So right away you're going to tell you're not going to be making a lot of silver lions. So right away, that's a con. We're going to cons 2, babying the engine. Now, I have to say, I was really surprised this update. The G.55S or any of the Italian planes usually have to baby the engine. What I mean by babying the engine is that you have to prevent it from overheating. Basically, if you're trying to use boost, the full boost, 100% power, the wartime emergency power, you're going to make the engine overheat. If the engine overheats, then basically you block your engine and you can't use it. However, I didn't know this, but I took out the P51, and this plane was having probably worse experience with the engine compared to the Italians, and I don't know why. I really was puzzled by that, but I was very disappointed, and it affected the flight performance of this. You don't have to worry about that with this though, and what I mean by that is once the engine goes from red, you can baby it back down to yellow, back to normal, and that's basically decreasing the power of the thrust. And you can go back to red again without any problems. With this plane, if you try to do that, good luck, because it'll go back to red, and then if you have it at 30% power, it's still in the red. Like, it's totally ridiculous. I don't know what the heck they did to the P51, but yeah, it's really frustrating to fly. This thing's a joyride to fly. That's probably why it's indicating the repair cost. So basically, cons, babying the engine, high repair cost for premium, which is kind of like what. But for pros, it's a premium plane, so you make extra credits. It's also good for researching XP. It has guns, 20mm, so it has 3 of them. These are very good at taking out aircraft. I usually use the air target belt just because it's awesome. It basically obliterates planes in one shot, and you can see it in the replay. Another pro is turn fighting. I know usually you have to go to the British, and you have to go fly around with all these Spitfires and everything like that. This thing can compete with a Spitfire. I believe the turn time is 19 seconds. Let's go look at 16.7 seconds for some of the Griffin Spitfires, 14.8. All right, not still pretty damn good for an Axis plane. And like I said, firepower, turn fighting capability, and premium. And this plane's fun to play too, so I'll throw that in there. All right, let's go look at the gameplay and see how it goes. Okay, so we're looking at the Italian Tier 4 prop plane that's premium. I believe on the shop it usually goes for 20 bucks. 25, but then it gets knocked down on sale sometimes to 15 or 10. And if it does go on sale, definitely pick this up, because I took out my P51, kind of just went and flew that out because I like the P51, wanted to go do a little analysis or review on it, and oh my gosh, that plane is just total garbage. I don't know what the heck Gaijin did to it, but it's I'm just amazed at just how bad it is. And usually, like planes like the Italians, you kind of get used to. You have to baby the engine. What I mean by babying the engine is that sometimes the engine will get overheated. The oil will go up, and same with the water temperature. So as a result, you start seeing it turn yellow, and then once it starts turning yellow, it turns red. And if you keep it, pressing web on it, so web wartime emergency power. If you keep going full throttle, then the engine's going to overheat, and then you're basically going to block your engine, and you're done. And the thing with babying your engine is that you kind of have to time it or kind of work around when you start seeing it turn yellow. Start turning the throttle down. If it starts going red, flashing red, immediately start cutting the power, just because you want to make sure the engine doesn't overheat on you. Now with this aircraft, all the Italian planes generally have this. You have the baby engine, and what I mean by that. So what I explained earlier, you gotta just be careful when how much full power you're going on it. And I was amazed with comparing this to the P-51 is 9A. The P-51, I don't know what the heck happened to that, but once it gets in the red, there's like no way of stopping it from being in the red. You would turn it down, and then it still manages to get back to the red. And you gotta go down to like 30% power, and you'll still be in the red, and you're like, well, what the heck? Well, when you're flying this, you can go from the red to the yellow back to flashing red, and you can keep doing that the whole time, and it's not going to lock you into one place. And that's what I love about this aircraft too, is that one, it's more of a low altitude, medium altitude fighter. So unlike BF-109s or some with the P-51s, you have to fly like really, really, really high. And here, you kind of have to fly. I usually like to fly low altitude or medium altitude, just because it's easier for me to engage targets. The plane performs better too. It's a really good turn fighter. Actually, it might even rival the Spitfire. I know the Spitfire is technically the better turn fighter, but I've gone up against my fair share of Spitfires, and this plane works very, very, very well against Spitfires. Now, the one thing just to point out with this aircraft is, like I said, you don't really want to try climbing going to high altitude. You more want to go low altitude, and that's where you're going to have more fun anyway. Just basically be quicker matches for prop games, just because in jets, normally everyone's shooting at each other within the first 5 minutes of the match. Props are very, very slow. So sometimes you can see people ground pounding like this. I think that's the B-25J or the Navy version of it. So usually Allied forces or Allied players generally like to ground pound. So this plane is perfect for going at the ground pounder. So you see that PPJ1, basically the Naval B-25. I missed my few shots. Like I said, there's always room for improvement. And my flaps go off because I went way, way, way too fast. And that's another thing too with flaps. You have to be careful with the speed you're going at. However, despite these setbacks, we still managed to do very well in this match. So anyways, that PBJ1 kind of goes down. We're like, okay, screw it. There's another one. Now, he wants to come, and it looks like he's going to try to head on me. So, see, the thing is here, I have 20mm cannons. I have 3 of them, 2 on my wing and 1 on my nose. So, I still kind of fire some shots at him. He's still focusing on ground pounding, and I think he's trying to take out the pillbox, but it looks like he just expended a crap load of ammo on it. So I'm going to lead my shots a little bit. I clip his wings, and that's a great thing about the 20mm for the Italians is, like, if they connect, once they connect, you're good. And that's definitely fun using that compared to, like I said, I don't mean to be bashing on the U.S. planes or P-51s, but man, like, I was sparking so much with it, and it's just frustrating when you try to lead your shots or you're connecting and you just see sparks, you're like, okay. Yeah, so that's the best thing about this plane. Like I said, once it connects and it hits, it registers, yeah, like there's a wing coming off. So like I said, I'm going at low altitude. I like doing that. I also look above me. It looks like the F4U might be trying to dive down on me. And you're always checking your peripherals just in case someone tries to sneak up behind you. I'm just trying to bait people down more to my altitude just because, generally, if people are climbing above you and they see you down below, they're going to try to go get you because they usually have a speed advantage or, they don't want to be up there forever because the match has got to end sometime soon. So being at low altitude, like I said, it depends on the plane. This plane performs very well at low altitude, so that's the whole point. I want people to come down to face me just because I'll kick their butt down here. So, for example, the F4U, that's more like a boom and zoom. So he's supposed to climb up, dive down, get his energy back, and then repeat the process. but I'm going to try to bait him to come down for me. It looks like he's trying to go for me right now. He fires some shots and he misses, so I'm going to go turn around and let's see if he has enough energy. That's what I was worried about, if he was just going to climb back up, but no, he wants to start turn fighting with me. I'm like, okay, fine, start turn fighting. He definitely beats you in that aspect. So yeah, he basically lost all his speed, and he's just trying to turn fight now, which is just not a good thing to do, especially in that plane. So I'm gonna leave my 20 millimeter shots. Of course, you know, I'm spraying all over the place, but I'm gonna turn around here and basically get another line up on him. And from here, he's basically gonna start flying straight. Yeah, and I'm gonna start leaving some shots. I think I got like 500 rounds or something. And you're like, oh, that might not be a lot, but no, that's actually quite a lot for this plane. And then I clip his wing and he goes down. That actually is quite a lot. If you don't spam all your shots, but you kind of like conserve it, definitely it actually works out in the long run. And that's a big thing about the about some of the planes with the lower ammunition, the cannons, like the Germans, the Japanese, the Italians, for example. The Americans get like a lot of ammo, so when you're flying a P-51, it's like usually 2,000 rounds, but at the same time, is that 2,000 rounds, is it going to take like one hit to take out a plane? Maybe a Japanese plane, it might catch it on fire, but typically you're going to use probably 200 or 300 of those rounds per plane, and that's not even including, missing. You have to lead your shots too. So yeah, you got to be more precise when you're aiming here. I know my shots weren't the best, but I still managed to take 2 planes down. So I'm trying to tell that ME-410 to come to me, just because he's kind of got a F-Wolf 190, the U.S. captured premium on his tail, but I think he shot him down. So let's see the battle. Yeah, he shot him down. So the F-190 is going to start coming towards me. I'm not really in the position right now to pull him head on. He's got way more speed than I do, so I'm going to just start doing some evasive maneuvers. Then I'm going to go try to face him. I pop a few shots at him, but he's just going to keep spamming his shots. He flies right past me. I'm going to turn around and see if he's going to turn fight with me. And right now I can tell I'm not going to have the speed to go and try to do that maneuver against him. He just has more speed than me. So I'm going to go turn around. Basically, I'm having him on. Yeah, he's going to try to come on my tail now. But like I said, this plane excels better at turn fighting, so he's not going to be able to make that much of a turn better than I am. So I'm going to turn my plane around now. Now I'm on his tail, because just like I said, the maneuverability on this plane at low altitudes is great. So that Focke-Wulf 190 is basically bleeding his speed right now, and we have a P-47 coming down to join the fight too. So he's going to go for that our ally Focke-Wulf. I'm going to go for this guy, basically leading my shots. And I got one good connect on him, he's done. Like I said, once these connect, they're done. So, that's why you just have to be conservative with your shots. And, that P-47's up there trying to dogfight with our Focke-Wulf. I'm going to just keep hanging out at low altitude. And, the worst thing that can happen in this, if you're flying at low altitude, you get killed right away. Oh well, you move on to your next match, and then you do the same thing. And, generally I have good performance down here. Like I said, the plane performs better at low altitude and then does it high. You can always do the typical climb up and then dive down, but I mean, you're going to have other planes out-climbing you just because they're better at doing that. So once you get down to this area, this is where you roll the battlefield. And, being at low altitude, turn fighting, you get, killing ground pounders quicker. So it actually pays off in the end. So I'm looking up there, basically that P-47 is trying to chase after our P-47, the German captured premium. F-82 is also being chased by him, so that P-47 is trying to help him out, but it looks like our P-47 took out that F-82, so now those two are going to joust, and we're just going to try to keep up with him, just to see if he needs assistance, but I don't know if that P-47 is going to knock him out of the sky, though, because if that doesn't work, then he'll be coming down on us, so, and my MA-264, I believe I guess that's a premium. So the P-47 trying to go for theirs. We're going to be flying down low. I'm telling him to bring him down just to make it easier for him. Fly him down to me, I can be able to take him out. So he's starting to bring him down a little bit. That P-47 is starting to fly out. And we're starting to get in range. Just looking for a good turn opportunity so I can go clip him. And it looks like it's presenting itself soon. So I'm just basically trying to line up the perfect shot. I'm going to fire off a round. That misses, that misses, that misses, and I get him right there. Voila. There you go. there goes that P47. So there we go, and that's with a big coordination of teamwork. Like you said, talk to your allies in the battle. Tell them, if they need help, tell them to come to you, stuff like that. Big coordination pays off really well at the end of the day. So definitely go do that when you're playing. Don't try to be a lone wolf, especially in any game like this. So that B25 is like live splashing out, basically trying to take. You gotta be careful too, because 50 cals can always, if they connect and if they hit enough times, they can definitely mess up your day. So that P47 takes out that B25, and we conclude this match with a win and with 4 kills. So I almost went away from being an ace, but oh well. So after that, we'll go into final thoughts, and voila. Alright, so my last thoughts on this plane is basically, it's a premium plane, it's your money, I'm not going to tell you to go buy it. If you feel inclined to use this to research it for your own benefits, to go down this entire tech tree, a really good plane to do that with. You also make some credits along the way. Another aspect is if you like the gameplay of playing low altitude, kind of just dogfighting with people, baiting people low, then yeah, this plane's kind of fun for that. However, the high repair cost compared to other premiums kind of just makes it kind of like, what the heck, if you're trying to make silver lions out of this, which that's kind of the whole purpose of premiums in this game anyway, is to research through a tech tree and also give you some silver lion boost. So at the end of the day, it's your money, you do what you want with it. If it suits the benefits of going down a tech tree, and my recommendation to anyone grinding out any nation in this game, I've been playing this since 2012, so that's why I have a lot of experience with all these nations, but as a new player or anyone just trying to focus on one line, just stick with one nation. Stick with a nation that you like. That, for example, I US, I have the fleet, and I also have the army, because I like the US, so I'm going to do that. But if you're Germany, if you like China, if you like Italy, you like France, try to stick with the tech trees, because, stick with a nation, because you get to use the tech trees too. If you're playing Germany, for example, just because you want to play the Tiger, but you don't have any aviation, then you're kind of screwed when you go to ground forces realistic, because you're going to have nothing to match up your lineup, unless you pay for premiums, and that's kind of how they get you. So, like I said, your money, do what you want, and yeah, that's it.